How's it going, everybody? In this week's episode, due to popular request, we have a special guest, Joelle. Come here, my climbing partner that I dropped a rock on.
You didn't tell me it was popular request.
Yeah, sort of.
Wow.
Okay, so it's Underground Climbing Channel for a reason. How's your foot?
Good. There was never an issue, really.
Okay, well, yeah, you got a little damage there. Well, I want to talk about that for all you guys that didn't see last week's episode. Basically, Joelle was belaying me, a rock fell, smacked her on the foot. We're going to recap a bit of the conversation, kind of rehearse some things, and then we're going to go into pitch 2, which is what you guys wanted to see. We got some requests to see pitch 2, and yeah, exactly. We're going to go over that.
You don't want to see pitch 2.
The thing is with pitch 2 is the footage is so bad that I'm going to try like animate something and like just talk about the like rope tricks we had to do to like get out of that situation.
It's one of those things that is better said in story than in photograph.
Yeah, that's why I think
video.
Yeah, because even the camera, it's like pointing down and it's like into the rock, and you can't even see what's going on. So we're gonna go over a bunch of stuff here, and
the video might strip it of all of its glory somehow.
Just watch this video and learn from our mistakes, so maybe you could have a better time if you run into a similar situation. Similar. Have you seen this episode yet?
No.
Okay, so you haven't even seen this episode. I don't want to do too much of a recap because you could go watch like the episode, but basically here's the rock right here, and it's about like fist size.
I forgot to.
So there it is. It almost looks camouflage because you see these other rocks are just sitting on the shelf. They don't look like that rock. For like now that I'm seeing it, that's
you had to go out of your way to move that rock.
No.
What the hell?
My foot touches it.
Oh, okay.
So like I get
You're
up.
like, woo!
No. See, I'm not touching it, and then all of a sudden, now my foot touches it. It kicked right off.
Well, it's amazing that you.
Okay, so let's go over the conversation.
But you don't catch the rock falling.
No, I don't know why, but I think this GoPro, it wasn't like ultra zoomy wide. I thought it was catching a lot more in view. I'm not like happy with the way that
it was on a bad setting.
It's a GoPro. Yeah, I think maybe I can make it put it on like a ultra wide, but I don't know if it
like a fisheye.
I thought I did. I thought I had it on like an ultra wide.
Rock.
So I actually screamed rock like 4 times. So while I'm screaming that, I'm thinking.
Your foot okay?
I'm thinking you are poised and ready to like jump out the way. So I scream rock, and I'm looking at you. I'm expecting some movement. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
Then screaming again and again, and you're kind of just like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm getting like nervous.
Well, there's like, okay, I never climbed with a helmet before this time. That's kind of interesting. And I've never had a rock fall on me.
Yeah, well, that's my fault.
But like,
I'm glad you had a good experience,
though. Well, what's interesting is I had a premonition. I literally was looking up and I saw a rock fall, and then I heard myself say, "Oh, don't worry, just keep going. It's just a fluke. It's just like a one-time thing on this climb." And then immediately the rock fell, and it was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
But I thought.
I think, like, when's the last time you climbed before this? Like 2008?
Probably like 10 years. I haven't climbed regularly in like a long time.
So I think you have these, like, backed up skills that are way back in, like, some cortex in your brain.
Rusty McRusty.
Yeah, so they're rehatching these memories.
I never had to dodge a rock. I don't think I've ever had to dodge a rock.
Usually, as you're belaying, you're like...
Everyone I've climbed with never dropped rocks on me.
Well, you might have been climbing more like roots that are just like...
I'm kidding.
Like we were climbing on the swan slabs.
Yeah.
You were like... That's like some place that rocks just aren't going to fall because it's seeing so much action. Back here in the backcountry, I mean, rocks are falling behind us.
Oh, yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah.
Like, you could just hear rock fall after rock fall.
Yeah,
it
so
was,
rock
really
is
creepy.
just constantly falling all around. So that's kind of like telling you, it's giving you the, like, this...
Get ready.
Yeah, get ready. So...
Yeah, even my brain was like, get ready.
So we should... some of the comments are even talking about that when I asked people, like, to, kind of point out, like, what went wrong, is we had a really poor, like, buddy check and, like, ground talk where we're like, okay, we're in this situation. We had a bit of it where we're like, okay, it's 1 o'clock. We have to move fast.
Yeah.
You know, let's go. And then, but we didn't have like, okay, we gotta watch out for rockfall. Maybe you should stand over here.
Yeah.
Like you were still like putting stuff away when I was like, okay, let's go, and I start like climbing.
Well, also, how do you, even though I wouldn't have done it, how do you fly out of the way when you have someone on belay?
Yeah, that's true. Like you
that,
could just say, yank
I'd have to like
me off.
give myself slack and then jump.
Well, one of the reasons I didn't put like pieces like way down low, I kind of like ran it out and put my first piece like way up high, is because that gives you a lot more. You're not tied into the rock. It gives you a lot more freedom to like jump around. But you also have to think like, okay, if something falls here, I gotta be able to have enough slack to like jump around and hide over here, or jump around and hide over there. But what we could have done is just put you over to the right where you're kind of like, like if you see over here, like we'll look down at you here.
That sounds right. If I was just standing in a different place, that would have made a big difference.
Also, I think from now on, I'm going to recommend that people belay in shoes.
Yes, I was barefoot.
Yeah, because if it hit your boot, nothing would have happened.
Well, like I got like a little scratch. You know, it felt like 1 pound. It felt like 1 pound hit my foot.
You didn't seem happy about it.
And it scratched. I mean, I was bleeding, so I was kind of like amazed. I was like, "That's kind of weird. I've never."
Yeah, I thought I can't see from up here what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a little blood, and I'm like, oh, she might be a little bit in shock. This might be way bigger issue. So we have a bit of like not a screaming match, but you have to also realize we're from Jersey, and Jersey people talk different. Like,
that conversation was 100% normal.
Yeah, the conversation is completely normal. Like when people hear people talk to their relatives, and like from Jersey, they're often like, that is the rudest conversation. Have you ever had experiences with that?
All the time. I've had someone here and they like corrected many different things, and it was like, this is just how we talk here. Yeah. Just relax.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I don't talk to like I do with my family with other people.
Right.
Obviously.
If this was somebody else I was bringing up, it wasn't you, I think I would have been talking different.
Oh yeah. There's a familiarity where you could just like
you could like express yourself, and I know you're not going to get offended if I'm like, just jump out the way.
You're more reserved with other people, I think. And then,
So people picked that up, and I think they were like, you know, who are they talking to? Like some people even texted me that have my number. They're like, was that a sibling, or like who was that? Some other person on Mount Project?
You idiot! What the hell is wrong with you?
Don't you know how to dodge a rock?
There's a lot of like backstory here of like fighting over Christmas presents and
there's many years of trauma.
Many years of trauma coming up.
That's so funny. Oh gosh. All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I know.
But I didn't feel like anything was. I thought it was all very friendly. The rock got bigger as it fell. That's what I was understanding. I was like, he's like, rock. I'm like, oh, it must be a pebble. Rock. I was like, I better start moving somewhere.
When I first said rock, it was very casual because it's like, all right, I don't know what fell. I know something fell. It might be a pebble. So this isn't like a red alert. And then I look down, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty big. Now I'm like, rock, and then
I could not see the rock. That was part of why I didn't move. I was like, where is it? I mean, it's like gray on gray.
Which way do I run?
So I just stepped to the side.
I've dropped like little things before, and I've opted not to say anything because if it hits you, it's not going to hurt. But if the person looks up and then catches it in the face, it's going to hurt. So I've had that, and then it falls like right on their head, and it goes plop and falls off. Like I've had little things like that. This is probably the biggest thing I've ever dropped.
Oh wow!
While there was yeah. It was,
congratulations.
Yeah, I've never.
Of course, on your sibling.
All right, we got to get past this rock wall. So we learned from that one. All right, let's go into what exactly happened in pitch 2, because pitch 2 is where we basically lost the climb because we spent so much time on it. I think.
Pitch 2 is where we lost our desire to climb anymore.
Yeah, it was like things got so
for life
messed up. Yeah, things got so messed up that it was like all right, now you can see already by here, which is pitch 3, it's like the sun's already going down. Not a bad lead, huh?
Not at all. Like you mean your job?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Impressive. Impossible. Mostly impossible.
Dad would be aiding that.
Oh yeah, I would be eating it. I mean, anyone would be eating it. Could be strong Yosemite climbers.
You mean I'm a strong Yosemite climber now?
Oh yes. Oh yes. You could take on the biggest office.
Alright, as soon as you get up here, just keep that gear you got and lead to the top.
Oh, forget that. I don't.
So after pitch 3, it was like 4:50, and then it was time to wrap down, and also we had a time constraint where we have to go catch a bus at 8 a.m. the next morning, hop on a plane and fly. So,
But I have to say, your placements on the whole thing, but pitch 2 were extremely good.
well, yeah,
They were so solid that I couldn't get any of them out of the rock. I had to just leave them all because it was like, wow.
Well, you're talking about.
I abandoned all the gear. I just forget it.
well,
That's not moving anywhere.
The cams all came out well.
I'm kidding. They all came out. Yeah.
Yeah, the cams all came, but the nuts. The problem with the nut placements
Is we didn't have a piton cleaner.
Yeah,
It's all about the
yeah,
piton
we'll
cleaner.
get to the piton cleaner. We'll get to the piton cleaner. All right, so it's. I'm just gonna shorten this clip. We're gonna watch this clip, and then I'll try to do a little bit of animating, talking about what happened, because it's gonna be easier to see it, like we said. So this is like, I'm already past a hard section of, I don't want to say hard section, but a section of like 5'9", and then it gets into like a finger crack corner where I'm in now, and you can see this is the corner I'm in, and above me is this like roof, and I have to go over that roof and then get to finish the pitch. So let me get into like a little animation of what is going on here, because it's kind of hard. It's really hard to explain by just doing that, by just looking at that video. So we're gonna do a little drawing here.
It looked so easy from where I was belaying. I was like, man, he's being super careful and like is rusty. And then I got there, I was like, how is this humanly possible to climb? Somehow Josh has defied human capabilities of climbing. Or I have forgotten how to climb.
I've been climbing a lot.
That was a very difficult pitch. Because I don't think, that's like a, whatever year, like 100 years ago, 5'9". Like it was a hard 5'9".
Yosemite, they'll call it a Yosemite 5'9".
Yeah, it's a Yosemite 5'9", I guess. Yeah.
Yosemite 5'9" is what people will say it is. It's like back when 5'9" was the hardest thing in the world. So that's like, it's like that. Hard. It's like that in the gunks too. Like in a gym, that'd be like, I don't know.
I mean, the cracks look super friendly and like, oh, that's so climbable. But then you get up to it and it's like,
yeah, leading it's another story
weird.
too.
I don't know. It's just very strange.
All right, we don't need these for this part. So this is our experience on pitch 2. We're gonna animate this here. So here I am, and here's Joelle down here, and we're basically facing this problem where we're gonna have like a roof, but it's also gonna have like a crack, and it looks kind of like this. So I'm climbing up, I climb up here, and I get up onto this roof. Now right here is probably, that was like 50 feet or something.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm up in here, and I got to pull this roof. So typically, let's do something with a rope here. Let's do a brush. We'll grab a rope.
There's no way it was 50 feet.
Yeah, what was it then? Like,
I don't know.
It was that whole section from that. And then it had that one section, and then it had that another section.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it could have been 40.
Never mind.
It was, I don't know, something like that. All right, so typically, why does this not change color? I want green. Okay, so here's our green rope, and I come up into here, into this roof, right? So I'm actually over here. Damn it! It's a stupid thing. It's constantly. I gotta get better with my animation
You just
skills.
leave your face up there so they know it's you.
Okay, I'm up here. All right, whatever. I'm up. I want to get up here. Okay, so now the rope. Typically, you don't want the rope to go like this, where it's here, and then going here, and then going here like this. And that's what will happen if you put like a piece here, or like a piece here. It'll end up dragging across this edge, dragging across this overhang, and you'll get heinous rope drag. So what you want to do is you want to have it where the rope could like go here and then maybe come up to here, and then it's going to have to go around the edge anyway, but you don't have this pulling action here. So what you have is long, quick draws here and here, and it's not sucking the rope into this corner, creating rope drag. So I'm trying to do that and trying to fix this problem. And I spent some time up in here trying to do this out, but I'm running out of slings. So what ends up happening is we have another problem where this overhang isn't like solid. There's a crack that goes in here. So what our rope ends up really doing is it goes like this, like from here to here, and goes into the crack behind that overhang. So I put some pieces here, but as soon as you started climbing up and you couldn't do this 5'9", what happened? Because for me, like when I got to the pitch, the way I set it up, I wasn't feeling a lot of rope drag climbing. Like I got up to the pitch, and it wasn't like, because I've climbed stuff where it got so rope drag that it feels like 80 pounds that I'm trying to barely make it to the anchor. This wasn't like that. I was like, okay, it's sliding up, it's not bad. But as soon as you went to go do this 5'9" and you got up in here and you realized you couldn't do it and you fell on it, now the rope got jammed into here. So you were like doing some like, and I'm like holding it. So now at this point, Joelle is screaming, take, and I can't even like.
I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I can't even hear you. So now you're.
And then it's like this amphitheater where you can't even hear each other, but you could hear very clearly some other climbers out in the distance. It's like amazing. But then I was like, did he pass out? Because like I am screaming. I'm not just like, take. I'm like, hello, are you alive?
So while you're screaming, I'm hearing you say something. I'm working out what my next step is going to be, because I could already realize this rope isn't budging, it isn't moving. So I'm kind of thinking like, all right, what am I going to do here? Your voice
is hitting
hitting this roof, hitting this, bouncing out. I'm not even hearing much. So a good thing is we both had our phones. So you reach in your back in this little backpack and you pull out your phone and you call me, and then we're able to work out what we're gonna do.
Oh yeah.
So I think having like a way of communication in a scenario like this, like it was really important. And there's a company called, I think they're Rocky Talkies. They make like little walkie-talkies to take on things. I think having those is like really important. If not good cell phone service. Yeah. Where you could call people. My phone, I can't use it right now, but basically has like a whole lanyard system on it, so I can't drop it. I can make a phone call if I need to, an emergency, and that's what we had. We had a little bit of, I wouldn't want to call it an emergency, but we had a situation. Another important thing is this pitch here. I didn't get past the half rope line, so if I didn't have enough rope for when I'm going to explain what we did in a second, then we'd also have a problem. So I climb up to here, I realize you're stuck. And you need to clean these pieces out. So I set up the anchor where this rope is just kind of like tied off. Then I switch you onto, I untie from my end. So I have all this rope up here. I untie from my end, okay? And then I lower that end down to you, and I put this end on belay.
Yeah.
So now you're on belay onto this. So now I'm able to put your rope way away from the crack.
Yeah.
lower it down, and now you're tied in. Now we're having a whole conversation on
Which
what.
was very freaky, by the way, to like
So what was wrong?
change ropes in the middle of a climb.
So I didn't want you to even untie this. You never untied this.
No, did I? No, I didn't.
No.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, you're never off belay.
Yeah.
You're on belay at all times. So you're on here, and then you tie into this. You're fine. What was freaky is you don't know what the whole what's going on yet. I guess you don't know, you don't understand what we're doing. You don't understand what's going on up here. Where I'm saying I'm putting you off belay, on belay. You were never off belay, but I'm just.
It wasn't totally clear to me what was happening, but that's probably because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. So then I'm telling you, and then at that point I'm telling you okay, and you're like, I can't climb it. You're like, this is too difficult to climb. So I'm like, all right, tie a Prusik and you start just climbing this rope here, and then you're like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then at that point I'm like, oh no. so you end up shimming yourself up it and pulling on this rope, and then I start just pulling in slack and you start moving yourself
Well,
up.
you had that idea, and then I had the idea of I'm just gonna pull and you're gonna take, and I'm just gonna pull my way up there, and that eventually did work out, and that's what happened.
Okay.
I did climb that cliff.
So then you start coming up here, and
I cinched my way up.
Okay, so you're cinching your way up here now.
And I'm belaying myself on a gree-gree, and you're belaying me as well. Which
Okay,
is unnecessary, I guess, but I had to do something with the slack coming in on that line.
Okay, so on this rope, you end up putting yourself on belay to also pull yourself up and in.
To do something with the rope, I mean, I think that what we should have done is I should have just untied from that rope, but that was really freaky to me to switch belay ropes. It was just and not see what's going on above you. But ideally, if you took that, but then it wouldn't be attached to the gear, right?
I didn't want you to untie this rope.
Yeah.
I would have yelled at you to untie it because I didn't want this rope here to get stuck in a crack somewhere down below. And the problem is, once you got up to here, you weren't, and you were removing pieces. Yeah. You didn't manage this rope. So what ended up happening is we end up having this big loop. I don't know what.
Right. It was just a loop hanging under me.
So you end up having this loop. And then you scream, the rope is stuck. And
I got stuck on a little ledge.
And then I'm like, what? I'm like, the rope is stuck. Oh, then I was like, okay, now we're in trouble.
I had to down climb a foot and then flick it over, and then I had to wrap it into a thingy.
I thought we were really screwed at that point.
Yeah.
I thought
two ropes.
Yeah, at that point I was like, so
it's the messiest climb I've ever done in my life.
So what you should have done here was you should have tamed this. You should have kept this rope with you, and I guess I should have kind of explained that. Is you could have put it in this bag, or what you end up doing is you end up just mountain coiling it over yourself. Yeah. As you climb, you just mountain coil yourself, right? Which I guess works.
I was afraid that I was gonna fall and it would hang me or something.
Yeah, but you're on this rope. You're on this rope here.
Yeah, so maybe nothing would have happened, but it was kind of weird having the rope around my neck. Yeah. It was very messy. It was not recommendable.
One of the most important things is just keep things clean and tidy. Yeah. So you should have kept this rope with you.
I should have made a loop-de-loop and put it through a loop on the loop.
Well, did you see what I did?
However you do those loops,
did you see what I did on the third pitch? On the third pitch, which we're not going to have time to get into, but there was a tree, so we had a hanging belay, and I'm over here, and what I did is I tied... I put a an alpine draw here, and what I did is I just put the rope back and forth through the alpine draw like this, and that stacks it really nice. And then when you got up to that hanging belay, I lowered you down, and everything is nice and neat and tidy. So you wanted to keep all this with you. Yeah. So
it was hard to climb something very difficult and do that. So what we're describing here is basically a rescue, because it's just don't do that. Yeah. Bring a lot of draws and
Yeah, I think all of that would have been avoided if I could have found a way to climb up here. And then once I got up to here, I could have backed back down and then got some more draws or something like that, and then climbed right back up, and then I could have changed this because it was a bit like, it wasn't like this exaggerated where it was like this, but it was kind of like that, and then when you fell on it, it sucked it into here. So if I could have found a way, I mean, even the guidebook says heinous rope drag.
Yeah.
You know, so if there was a way, maybe if we climbed the route, there was a route to the left, which was like more like 5-7-ish. But that was also like the rope would have went like this, because it would have gone left and then so I didn't. It looked to me that doing the 5-9 might have been harder, but it was way more straightforward. But then when I got up into this whole situation, which was out of my sight until I got into there, then I'm like, okay, we have a little bit of a deal to deal with. If there was a bolt, like let's say over here to the left, or there was a way to put some kind of directional where it pulls the rope over on this side and not around this corner behind this into that crack there, you know, then we wouldn't have had a situation like that. So you want to think about that, especially when you're dealing with a rope drag scenario. I think we're gonna have to go back there in the spring and
finish it
and do it. Yeah, do a lot better, because we were only probably like 50 feet from the top.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, we were super close. And pitch 3, we had everything. We got our stuff together.
Yeah, pitch 3 was nice. Pitch 3 was like, oh, this is typical nice Yosemite climbing.
Yeah, super straightforward. And just face climbing with some laybacks. I got a little bit of footage, just a tiny bit of footage of that, but because
Pitch 2 is like, I don't want to climb anymore.
Yeah, my camera. This was just a cluster mess. It was just ridiculous, the mess we got into. So we spent like probably a good hour and a half yelling back at each other on the phone, trying to work out what we're gonna do. If you were like a stronger climber, also like a 2008 Joelle. A 2008 Joelle would have been like, you know, right up there. So
maybe.
Like,
I don't remember.
But
yeah, probably, I guess.
I think you wouldn't have fallen, so we're basically also a new partner team on figuring each other out, what we're capable of and everything else. So I mean, I could have definitely done this better, and then also if I didn't take you up something that was as hard, then you would have had a better time too. Usually when you take people like climbing and you put on hard stuff, they don't have much. But the next pitch, the third pitch was harder than that. It was 5-10 something.
Really?
Yeah,
it was easier.
It felt easier because it was just more straightforward. It was actually off route. Let me see if I can pull.
Really weird.
Let me see if I can pull a picture of what we did there. Okay, yeah. So the route, actually, this is that ledge where that tree was. This would have been the second pitch.
Yeah.
And then it actually goes left, like this, but I saw some like rope in a belay station at this tree, so I decided go straight for the tree, and I could see that climbing was like, you know, climbing that I could pull off. So I said, all right, well, just go straight for the tree and belay down there. So that actually, this section right here is like 5-10, I think. But it was a lot.
Nice friendly 5-10.
Yeah, it was a friendly 5-10. I mean, leading it's a little bit. You saw how much gear I placed in.
Yeah.
You liked the way I placed the gear. I think you said something like, "This is super solid, really strong climbing," or something like that.
Yeah, it was like real. Every piece was really good.
Yeah.
Every piece.
So I mean,
which is to be expected, I guess, but it was good.
Another big mistake is we didn't bring the piton cleaner.
Oh yes, the piton cleaner.
So at Camp 4, I completely took the rack apart, cleaned it all up, and then put it all back together, but I forgot to put the nut tool on. So Joelle's screaming, "Where's the piton cleaner?" I'm like, what the heck's a piton cleaner?
The funniest part in all this is that I'm sure if we could hear the other climbers so clearly, they could hear us. And they're like screaming like back and forth, "Hey Jenny, how are you doing?" And she's like, "It's wonderful." Even in one part of the climb, they're like, wow, this is a nice climb. Such a nice climb. Hey, did you see that ledge? We should have a tea party. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. And then what they're hearing in return is, "Pass the piton cleaner!"
What the hell?
What's a piton cleaner?
What do you mean the rope's stuck again?
Take! Give me the other rope! Put me on, belay on the other rope! And they're probably like, what the hell is going on over on the higher cathedral spire? And the saddest part is probably what they're climbing is harder than this one.
Yeah, it
It probably was. They're probably just strong climbers listening to us.
But like these climbs that are easier, that wind around trees and through cracks, they're harder because they're more logistically, like you have a straightforward hard 5'11" crack where each cam is exactly the same size.
I want you to make a T-shirt now that says piton cleaner with a little spray bottle, because that's just, and like a little like.
No one would get that reference.
What is the metal thing that cleans the Brillo pad or something?
Yeah, a little Brillo pad.
Piton cleaner.
Oh my gosh.
And it took me a long time. Then I was like, maybe it's not called a piton cleaner because pitons are those things.
This video has gone on long enough. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you learned something and you learn from our mistakes and don't make the same ones. Learn the easy way, not the hard way. Next time we'll be doing that one in style now that we've learned exactly how to get past all the trials and tribulations of that climb. Joelle does art if you want to check it out. I'll leave a link to it down below. I do art by selling t-shirts, I guess. You can call that art. Check out our merch store, Discord. Joshua Perry, climbing out of here.
Wow, that's a pretty high climb there. I know, right? Gotta be a 5'10".
Yeah, it's probably better you don't show your foot to the internet.
Did I show my foot to the internet?
No, I'm saying like if we said like, how's your foot? And then like you pull your foot out. Probably not a good idea to show your foot.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Today anyway.
Why, you didn't do your toenails or something?
No, nothing.